Welcome back to the Dallas Show. For today's episode, I talked to Caroline Thoma about all the fun game shows, reality competition shows that you watched growing up, from American Idol to Survivor, The Amazing Race, to a little gem called Kid Nation. That's right. You don't know what Kid Nation is? You better buckle up. So get ready for this episode of the Dallas Show, the podcast. What was the movie with the clown that cut that girl?
Oh, the Terrifier.
The Terrifier. Did you see that?
No, but I watched the kill count.
It's
terrifying.
He hangs that girl upside down and chops her right in her axe wound. It was wild.
Dude, I can't clown. Not down to clown.
I'm not down to clown. I can't clown. Are we recording? All right, Caroline, let's put a pin in that. Welcome to the Dallas Show, the podcast, where we took the Dallas Show, made it a podcast. Today we have Caroline Thoma with us today. Hi, Caroline.
Hello.
Welcome to this. Welcome to my podcast. It's weird that we talk about everything all the time. We see each other a lot. But now I finally have you as a guest. How's it going?
You know, same.
Great. So we are going to talk about today. So we are doing a sort of game show series. Last episode, we talked with Hannah Yankowski about love game shows.
Ooh.
Did you ever watch any love game shows growing up, or any of the old school match game?
Not.
Match game's not a love show. What are we talking about? Like the Newlywed Game and any of that stuff?
No.
Did you get into game shows at all?
Yes, I liked, was it Lingo?
Lingo was pretty good.
Lingo and Whammy.
I used to watch that with my grandma all the time. Lingo was the what was the I didn't expect to talk about this. What was the one? Chain Connection?
Oh, yeah. Where they're like trying to get the phrases.
And I loved that one too. I was very good at that one. The people on it, trash.
English major.
So yeah, we're going to talk kind of continuing on our game show series. Today we're going to talk about reality shows and kind of reality television competitions, and more specifically reality competition shows. Did you fuck with these at all in the early 2000s when they started happening?
I never watched them until quarantine.
Oh, any of them, like, at all?
No, yeah.
Nice. So yeah, let's kind of dive in here. So I really like reality TV shows. I think they're fascinating. I think they're great. I've auditioned for reality TV. It's a dream. It is a dream of mine. We are going to kind of talk about, there's 4 big ones. Oh, Shane's helping the birds. The birds have opinions about American Idol. They know what we're going to talk about. So we're going to start with American Idol. So American Idol came out in 2002.
Gross.
Which is a long time ago, apparently. They're on 19 seasons.
They're still going?
They're still going. Well, because they had it on Fox with Simon Cowell and all them.
Right.
And then there was a break. And then they redid it with Katy Perry and Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan.
Right.
And it went from Fox to ABC. You never watched American Idol at all?
I think I saw like the season finale sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's all that really mattered.
Yeah,
it's either like auditions or the finale.
Yeah, American Idol was a weird thing. So 2002, I would have been 10 years old. So I didn't really start getting into it until I was like in middle school, high school, so like 2006-ish, season 4 when Carrie Underwood won. But it was this weird phenomenon because as soon as American Idol came out, everybody wanted to be on American Idol. Suddenly everyone was a singer and nobody knew.
I knew like 4 people that auditioned in my high school alone.
Yep. I knew a couple that auditioned from my high school and they like didn't make it past the producer round, and it was very much like, well, they don't care about talent. And it's like, I think they do. I think they do care about talent.
Interesting.
And then back in the old days, you weren't allowed. I don't know if you weren't allowed. Like, you didn't audition with instruments and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. That was weird.
And now they're like, "Hi, this is Mary. She has one arm. She'll be playing the piano while she sings Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Katy Perry cries. She wins right there." Like, it's out of control. Like the old ones, it used to be funny because Simon Cowell was so mean, but so correct and accurate of like giving them the advice they needed through the like industry. But now they're just hand holding the whole time. The people,
like, wonderful.
Maddie Poppy was the girl who won the first rebooted season of American Idol. I did watch that one. But she, like, her finale song holds nothing. Like, her against Kelly Clarkson's A Moment Like This. Is it a great song? No. Did it change the world? It did. But like her singing a moment like this versus this girl's song that she did, I think they still did like it's an original song that was submitted, but they can't hold a candle to any of these people. Like Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Clay Aiken, Carrie Underwood, Bo Bice. Well, he's a little problematic, but like once you get into they just aren't, the caliber isn't raised.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of these kids are like, I made videos on YouTube and I can play the ukulele, so I'm quirky and fun.
You're not Carmen.
You're not Carmen. But yeah, it was American Idol. I watched it for a long time, and everyone was always like, if you were to audition for American Idol, what would your song be? And I was like, I ain't a singer. I sing and perform, but it's more of a musical theater thing, not like I'll never win American Idol.
I had an ex audition, and he sang Diary of Jane.
Diary of Jane?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
His sister forced him to, and I'm like, why are you even doing this?
Oh, so good. If I had to sing a song now, it would be WAP by Cardi B.
Of course.
Certified Freak. 8 days a week, because I got a job to do. But, so with American Idol, the other thing was there was a lot of what came out, if more famous than some of the people were like the bad auditions. Mm-hmm. Love a bad audition where a singer's like, hello, my name's Jake, and I'll be singing Bohemian Rhapsody, and then they're trash, and then they're like, well, I don't know why they're British, but my mom likes it when I sing, so I should be the next American Idol. Or when they're like, do you think you could win? And they're like, no, but I think I'd have a good shot. Why are you here? But yeah, Ryan Seacrest hosted for, does he still host it? Does Ryan Seacrest host? Who hosts?
He hosts
American
everything.
Idol? Who hosts? Oh man, I should have had. I didn't expect to talk about American Idol this long, but here we are.
See, I didn't watch American Idol. I watched The Voice though.
Let's
like the first few seasons.
Bobby Bones, who is that?
That's made up.
That's not a real person. Ah, yes, the silence. It's great for a podcast. I don't know who these people are. I don't know if Ryan Seacrest still hosts it. If not, he should. He did a great job. So that was 2002. Let's step into, that was like the most recent one. We're going to take a step back. So 2001, The Amazing Race.
Yes.
Is another one that
yes.
kind of has swept. So it started in 2001. Mm-hmm. When I looked it up, it's currently 32 seasons deep, which is a lot. And that I think that includes like the all-star ones and stuff.
And like
it
the
may
celebrity
not.
ones.
Mm-hmm. Amazing Race is like, I want to be on Big Brother. Amazing Race is my number 2.
Ugh.
Who I would run it with always changes. But it's so good. It's so good.
I want to do it, but I would be that white girl that's out in like episode like 4, like makes it far enough, but then she's like, I have too many bags. I'm too slow. I don't know how to read a map.
See, I would have to think, because I'm relatively okay under pressure, which is a beautiful a beautiful thing to be. But like I could find myself very much snapping at somebody who is like, these bags are heavy, and I'm like, it's $1 million. Like, I'll buy you new legs when we win. Get in the plane, we're jumping out.
Yeah, that part I could not
Cut
do.
to me skydiving and being like, you know what? I don't think I can do this. Can I get a spin-off show? That would be great. Anything with the bungee jumping and skydiving, fuck off. I am
when
out.
they just like dive into like ravines, I'm like, how?
They're like,
I quit.
what's that host's name? He's just like, we found this place in New Zealand. You're gonna jump in a cavern, and they're like, no.
I'm gonna walk down and lose, but I'll get there.
I'm gonna lose and not shit my pants on national television. But then you have these people on Amazing Race who are like, it's an interesting dynamic because it's teams of 2. So sometimes it'll be like, brothers, sisters, a mom and a dad, and then there's just the grandparents. And you're like,
Precious.
All right, go ahead and climb up Machu Picchu, Stacy. We'll see if Grandma can make it. And she's like, I'll just wait at the bottom. And they're like, no, you can't wait at the bottom. You have to go to. She's like, well, somebody carry me. And then the nice bodybuilders carry her up the mountain. But yeah, there's some of the challenges where I'm like, there's no way. Mm-mm. There's no way.
See, I could do all like the dirty, like, oh, like digging in mud for like gems. Heck yeah, sign me up for that. Nice mud facial.
Can you scale Mount Rushmore and pick Lincoln's nose and find your clue? Probably not. Anything that's, again, like the rock climbing crap, it's like, if you're not physically strong, and they always do it on like day 76, you're like, cool, I want to die.
I have Jello legs.
Yeah. Can you just, you know what? If I kill myself, I'll ascend to the top of this mountain. But yeah, and that one's $1 million. We didn't talk about the prize for American Idol, where it's like you get a record deal, blah, blah, blah. Which Kelly Clarkson just ended her contract from winning like recently. I'm going to say in the last 5 years. So it's like, they are like, you win, but here you go.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ruben Studdard will never get out of there. But Amazing Race, it's $1 million, I do believe, and I'm assuming that's split between 2 people. The best episodes are the last episode where it's 3 teams, and then most of the time it's like, well, that team caught that train that's an hour ahead, so
I wonder who's gonna win.
they win. And then it's some puzzle that they're like, I actually forgot this whole time, I don't know how to read. It's fun, but there's always like there's also archetypes for these shows where it's like there's always the old people, there's siblings, there's always parents. One of the best teams on there was, I think it was a pair of cousins, and it was a little person and her cousin.
Oh, I remember that.
And I think her name was I want to say Shmurna. It was hilarious because they were like, okay, so we're obviously we're gonna beat this team, and they kept winning. Because they came back for an all-star season. That's what I was going to say. And because they lost and then came back for an all-star season and made it really far. And you could just tell everyone was pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Amazing Race is fun because there's a lot of underdoggery that can happen. It's not everything set in stone.
Yeah.
You know, can you read a map? There was a whole episode where everyone they like didn't fill up their gas tanks all the way. So they had to stop somewhere and get gas, but it was diesel and nobody read it. So they put gasoline in a diesel engine, like in the car.
Incredible.
Except for like one person. So all their cars just stopped working. Or you get in a car and it's a stick shift and nobody knows how to drive a stick. Can you drive a stick?
I did once. That's it.
Oh, like you drove a stick once.
I drove a stick once.
Not you know how to.
Oh, no.
Oh, gotcha. My parents forced me to learn how to drive a stick. And I was like, this is awful and I hate it. My next car will be a stick shift. I love them.
You monster.
Well, they're also easier to fix once you. Anyway, this isn't a car podcast. Could be. But it's not. So yeah, for the Amazing Race, you've seen this is one you've seen, right?
Yeah.
You've seen a couple.
You got me started on like the first season. I think I watched the first like 4 seasons. I watched some All-Star. I watched the one where it was like all the internet personalities, like Tyler Oakley and Bernie Burns from Rooster Teeth. And I'm like, this is my shit.
Yeah. They also had a Nintendo Wii game that was the Amazing Race that I bought when I lived by myself, and then I got it and it realized you had to have 2 players. So I would hook up both Wiimotes and play on my own team. And it was fun because you had to travel everywhere, but you would have to pick, like, they'd give you a certain amount of money, and then they would sort of give you options of like, do you want to take a taxi or do you want to take a cab? This one's more expensive, but it's faster. And you have to go back and forth because the computers didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they would try to sneak you, but it would take like an hour to play a round.
Whoa.
Because it was a long game.
That's cool.
It was super cool. I guess we kind of just jumped into it. So for anybody who doesn't know what the Amazing Race is, pretty standard TV show. There's teams of 2. They have to go around and complete tasks and do different things around the world. Can't really do it now with COVID, but you go to different milestones, and if you're the last team to get that milestone, you may get kicked off or have a penalty for the next round, and then whoever wins gets $1 million. Pretty basic stuff there. Let's move on. So that was 2001. We're going to go back to 1999.
Ooh.
Big Brother.
Never watched it.
Big Brother is the best, worst reality TV show. Do you know anything about Big Brother?
There's a house with hot people that don't know what's happening.
That's the first step. So Big Brother is a reality TV show where they take a bunch of people who are sociopaths and put them in a house together with no connection to the outside or anything. This one is like it's a live summer-long game. So they like get put in this house in like June, and the winner doesn't get to see anybody on the outside world until like the end of August.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it happens in real time. So there's like 3 episodes a week, and there's always like somebody competes to be the head of the household, and that person has immunity. They can't be voted out. They get to pick 2 people to put up for eviction. Okay? So they pick 2 people in the house. So imagine that first week, they're like, hi, my name is Diane. I'm kicking you out of this house. So then you put those 2 people up for eviction. Then there's a veto competition where the head of household and the people who are nominated and like 3 other random people compete. And if you win the power of veto, you can change the nominations. So if you're up for nomination and you win, you can take yourself off. And that person has to put a new person on. Like the head of household.
There are too many moving parts.
It's a bunch of fuckery. It's so good. It takes like 2 episodes to get into it because I had my whole family into it one summer where I was like, guys, just watch this TV show. It'll be great. And like 2 weeks in, everyone's like, and it's 3 episodes a week. So like 1 episode's the head of household, 1 is the veto, 1 is the live eviction. So it's live and everyone casts their vote and somebody gets kicked out of the house.
So many things I did not know about this show.
Yeah. So then and as soon as somebody leaves, they like round up all the people and they do the next head of household competition at the same time. So they leave no room for like, okay, like what's our plan if I win this week? If we haven't, they're like, go, you're next.
They're not like fucking around with any of that.
No. And then, somebody wins. And then the next episode, they put somebody up for eviction. Like it never stops. And of course, people like start hating each other. There was one season where they had to like put disclaimers up where they were like, NBC does not reflect the thing because somebody was getting like really racist and a little homophobic and that person made it too far. But with that one, it's interesting because you have a bunch of people who are like trying to say you can't really be good at anything. Yeah. Like you can't really be good at Big Brother. You can if you win. But it's like, how did you do that? Did you win a bunch of competitions? Did you have a really strong social game? Did you fly under the radar until it was too late? And then there's been seasons where there's people, they don't have like floating heads interviews until halfway through the season. You're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, like when there's like too many people.
And then that person sneaks in and wins. So it's so good. My favorite season is there was a guy named Andy Herron who won. I've met him.
Excuse me. Okay.
I met him. But his season, he was like, when it got to like the top 7, it got to a point where everyone was like, oh, I trust him. He's like my best friend in this house. And he was like this skinny little gay ginger that was like, I'm everyone's friend. And he fucking got in there and won. And then when he gets down to the final 3, whoever you choose to put up, like whoever wins gets to pick somebody to kick out immediately because you're the one voting anyway. Right. And that's where a lot of fun stuff happens too. Cause you're like, okay, who do I bring with me that I know I can beat? Do I bring somebody that I've been in an alliance with this whole time? Or this person who was a trash monster who made their way through because everyone knew they could beat them. It's kind of like Survivor. Who do you think you can beat?
Right.
So they'll be like friendships to the very end. And then they go, sorry, I got to cut you out. And then if you make it to the end, the winner gets $500,000, I think. Okay. And like second place gets $50,000.
That's not bad.
And I was like, you just gotta make it to the last 2.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go. I mean, but you also have to make it through like 8. There's like 18 people that start.
That's way too many.
It's crazy. It makes people go bonkers. They also did a season where I think it was during the writer's strike, and they were like, we don't really know what to do. So reality TV kind of picked up because you don't need scripts. Air quotes, scripts. But they did like a love connection one where they had everyone fill out these like love surveys and you got partnered with somebody that you matched with and you competed in teams.
These sound like these awful, like the high school ones that you fill out.
Yes. Well, the team that ended up winning, because it got to a point where then they all competed against they all competed separately. And they actually, the team that like got matched together who were like, I fucking hate you. Trash. They made it to the end and one of them ended up winning.
Of course.
But they put a couple, they matched them with other people. Oh. And didn't tell anybody.
Intrigue.
Yeah, but then it was like those 2 teams were the worst. And it was funny because it was like, yeah, these were based on your compatibility. Who fucking knows of their compatibility? It was probably like, who's the worst?
Right.
We're putting them together. So there was like one couple that was like, this is actually working out. Like, we're a pretty good team. And then other teams that were like, fuck you. Fuck you. That's my boyfriend over there. I'm gonna go hang
kick
out with
your ass.
Trav ass. But yeah, Big Brother is like, I have to binge a season. I can't. It's hard watching it live because I want it to go quickly. So I have to watch like the already done ones. And
That makes sense.
Yeah. And you can skip like the veto competitions. You can technically skip, but you get pulled in when it's like everybody, like it's two sides of the house, and one side is just destroying the other, and then the team that's like on the lower half wins, and so they're like, how are they going to get back? How are you going to do this? Who's going to fight for it? And then if they lose this competition, they're like, I'm out. It's over. What do I do? I'm packing my bags. Frankie Grande was on it one season.
No.
Nightmare. Such a good season, and he was like the villain by the end, where everyone was like, we need to get him out, but then he would keep winning these little, because you could win the veto competition every single week and never go home. So they kept putting him up, and he'd keep winning, and they were like, God. And then if he wins the head of household, they're like, there's a whole week we have to wait.
That you're just fucked.
Somebody on our team's gonna go home. Then they start turning on each other. It is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. But yeah, I love Big Brother. I auditioned for Big Brother. Like, went to a cattle call casting in Cincinnati in a mall, stood there with a number, and the audition was like, you went in, and there were like 8 of you, and they were like, does anybody know anybody in this room? Because you weren't allowed to know somebody that you were like in the room with. And then they would like have you introduce yourself, why you think you would win, and I think that was it. And they went down the line, and then they'd go back down, and they'd be like, all right, so who in this room is your biggest competition, do you think?
Already pitting against.
It immediately was like, there. And then sometimes they'd be like, okay, you don't think he's competition. Do you think that she would be competition?
Because they just want the drama.
Yes. They want to see how you react to situations like this. And for mine, they were like, don't tell us what your job is. Like, that's the only thing that you can keep out. You can let us know. Don't tell us your job. Like the producer, like the the director knew, but the people didn't. And so they were like, why do you think you'd win? And I was like, because I would. Easy.
Confidence.
Who do you think is here in your competition? And I was like, in this room? No one. And they're like, not even this guy over here who's great big. And I was like,
Cute.
what would he beat me at? Push-ups? Next. I'd probably align with her. She seems simple.
Best phrase.
Yeah, I was like, get me on this show. I will claw my way into this show. And I did not hear back. And I was like, you've got to be shitting me. I've also submitted videos. It was a whole thing. But yeah, you ever audition for a TV show?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, so good. Shane, have you ever auditioned for a TV show? See, that's the thing. Reality shows, it's like you don't really have to be good at something. Most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them, it's like if you can hold a camera, like if you can be entertaining, you can be on any show.
Yeah.
It's the very specific shows. Like Face Off. You ever watch Face Off? The makeup effects show?
Incredible.
That's a good one. I could never be on that because those people aren't entertaining. They're just very good at their job.
Yeah.
Even the bad ones, they're like, I don't know. And I was like, you just cast an entire monster.
Yeah.
And then painted it. That's incredible. That's a marketable skill. What's my marketable skill? Bald jokes. Like, what? Okay. So we're going to move on from Big Brother. So we're going to move back to like the oldest and the one with the most. Oh, Big Brother also has 448 seasons worldwide.
Oh, I was like, what?
Well, because they have them all over the place. They have the Celebrity All-Stars. They've got
Drag Race is coming for
everything.
them.
Yeah, they've got Drag Race episode. I didn't even put Drag Race on here.
Yeah, how dare you?
I will get to it. That's an entire thing in
That's
itself.
a whole thing.
But starting at the end, like the oldest one, like the most iconic one, Survivor.
Yes.
So Survivor started in 97. It's currently
Really?
40 seasons. It's an old one, and Jeff Probst is just raking in that money
Just
and
being
making fun
sass.
of people. Yeah, it's so good. So tell me, do you think she's a busted bitch? Interesting.
Talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little more.
I'm going
This
to call
per-
specifically you out, Diane.
This person says they hate you because your character is shit. What do you have to say about that? Look right to your right. She's sitting right next to you. Tell her what you think.
You've been
on
sitting out in the
television.
desert for 3 days with no water.
You got third degree sunburns. Tell me about that. Well, and then the one season we watched together, the guy got it was people who all 3 people came back because they had left because of injuries. Like one guy slept next to the fire and got boiling water spilled on him. Trash.
Yeah. And he came back.
So good. My favorite thing about Survivor is they're like, we found a hole in the Earth's crust. Survivor crust. Like, they find these most isolated places, and they're like, are there deadly snakes? Maybe. Good luck, everybody.
Wouldn't you like to find out?
You want rice? You gotta fight for it. You ever fight for rice?
Oh my God, barter for rice.
It's so good.
Dude, I have only watched the 1 season. And whenever they went in these mud balls and they're like standing there, time passed 3 hours. And it's like, I will give you all our rice for 1 sandwich.
I would like a peanut butter sandwich. I will give you 40 pounds of rice for a peanut butter sandwich, and the rest of my team can go fuck themselves.
For all of your potato salad in the hot sun.
Oh my God, a hot sun potato salad. That's I love potato salad. I would do lots of things on that show for potato salad. Because, yeah, I mean, they strand them out in the desert, and they're all in their regular clothes.
The one girl was wearing a suit jacket.
Yeah, and they're like, you better make this work for, I think Survivor's 30 days. Yeah. So they're like, you better make this work for 30 days. I think that one's also $1 million prize. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's the same thing of like, how do you get along with your team while also trying to win everything?
Yeah.
Because once the merge happens, the merge of the tribes, like, you have to fight for your spot and still be good. You might have to backstab people.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then like halfway through, they start fighting over things like rice, clean water, a blanket. It's raining on them. If they don't know how to build a shelter, they're fucked.
Yeah.
It's going to rain on you all week, all month. And then you cry over a blanket and a bag of Doritos.
I mean, me on a Friday night.
Oh, so good. Me yesterday. Survivor, that is me during the pandemic. But yeah, I mean, it's 40 seasons strong. And they've done the cool thing. I don't think Big Brother or Amazing Race has done like heroes versus villains, but Survivor has done heroes versus villains.
Oh, to like play into
where
that.
It's like they take the people. There was a guy on Survivor who like lied to people and said his grandma had passed away to get sympathy, and then during his floating heads he'd be like, "My grandma ain't dead, but I staying here another day. I want that $1 million." And then at the end they're like, "Okay, but my grandma actually died." And he was like, "And okay. What? Let's go. I want $1 million." So, but they take people that are like notoriously brutal players who don't give a shit, and then they would put them against the people who are so good and
at the game and everything.
Like the girl, what's her name? Blair from The Facts of Life. I don't know her real name.
Oh yeah.
Like she would have been a hero. She was so sweet. She was so good that whole time.
Okay,
except for the last couple episodes, she got a little dicey.
Like underhanded.
Yeah, I mean she was having a ball. I love when they put celebrities in these things. Celebrity Survivor.
No one knows who I am.
Yeah, Celebrity Survivor. It's like, you're gonna live in the studio apartment in New York, and they're like, I can't. What is rice? Rice who?
Oh my God.
But yeah, Survivor's a pretty good. That's one. I think when I did the Big Brother audition, it was like Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race are all in the same casting world.
Oh.
So it was like you could pick two.
Makes sense.
And I was like, Amazing Survivor is one. I was like, look, it'd be fun. I would not do well. The minute I am too hot or too cold, I'm gonna go drown myself in the ocean.
Dude, the bug bites alone.
But they're like, I stepped on a crab. You better eat that crab.
I caught one. That's what you did.
You ain't getting food. Yes. I caught this. I caught this with the bottom of my foot. What was I doing? Talking all day? So yeah. So those are like the 4 big ones. Mm-hmm. I want to run these other ones by you just to kind of see what I want to play a little game. We're going to see if you can guess what these are about. Oh no. Okay. So this first one, I believe it was TLC. It was called Born in the Wild. What do you think this was about?
Is this like one of those stupid like magazine things where it's like, ah, yes, a child born to wolves, and then we let it survive?
I don't know what you're watching that does that, but that sounds amazing.
I'm pitching shows now.
I'm pitching shows. Hello, I have a movie.
Is it just like Naked and Afraid, but not Naked and Afraid?
So I was looking this up. Born in the Wild is actually a TV show. I believe it was TLC, and it was people would have their babies in the wild. Like people would go crazy places to have babies.
So like how people have like, oh, we're gonna have a bathtub birth. Oh, we're gonna have like a Nile River birth.
Yep. And it says that, it said that they always had an EMT on site during filming, but it was really dangerous. It only lasted 1 season.
Obviously.
All right, I think that was that one. That was in 2013.
Oh, that
it was inspired by, it was Lifetime. Lifetime series inspired by a 2013 YouTube video of a woman giving birth outdoors.
Oh, I'm thinking this was like 2003.
No. And then you have every white girl being like, I want to give birth in diamonds. So they went and did that. Born in the Wild. Yeah, 1 season. 2015. So even later. Yeah, this was 2015 was
6 years ago.
Woof. Joe Millionaire.
I remember that one.
Do you remember Joe Millionaire?
Yeah, he wasn't actually a millionaire, and then they were like, "Why'd you lie to all these women?" I remember that one.
Yeah,
he wasn't even that cute.
So Joe Millionaire was a Fox show in 2003 with Evan Marriott. So he inherited a fortune and was looking for a bride. So they do it like The Bachelor style, and he kicks people off. Then at the end, he tells them that he's actually a construction worker and he's not rich.
Yeah.
It does say if she did stay with him, they did win $1 million.
Oh, so there is like
there's a
potential.
But with love, you got to sign a paper that's like it's like a prenup.
Yeah.
Here's your $1 million. You better not touch me for this marriage. That's crazy. The Swan. Can you guess what The Swan is about?
Is that going to be like one of those?
2004 and 2005, 2 seasons. On, what was it on?
That's a good key.
It doesn't say. Oh, Fox.
Was that like the plastic surgery one?
Yes. Yes. So The Swan is a show where they would take 2 women and like ugly duckling them.
Yeah.
With plastic surgery.
I vaguely remember this.
And then one would get sent home. So you get all this plastic surgery, and if you were the busted one, you went home, and the winner would move to the finale. And they did this, and then it was like a beauty pageant at the end.
How'd they have 2 seasons of this?
Yeah.
How'd they get past like half a season?
It's crazy.
Early 2000s
I don't know.
Insane.
Yeah, 2004, 2005, Fox was like, let's do it. Let's chop them up. It'll be great. But there's an interview with one girl she got, it's not funny. On this show, on this Fox reality show, she got a tummy tuck, a butt lift, an inner thigh lift, a dual facelift, upper lip lift, upper and lower eye lift, an endoscopic brow lift, rhinoplasty, and a boob job.
Ow.
And lost. And lost. That is crazy. Okay, this one is 2005 Fox. Fox had the good ones.
Fox had the problematic
It's called
ones.
Who's Your Daddy?
Is this Mamma Mia?
No.
That's my guess.
So, this show was like The Bachelor, except it was a woman looking for her dad who gave her up for adoption. No. So Fox got the person and then a bunch of random dudes, and it was like a mystery where she had to ask questions to figure out.
They couldn't just tell her?
No.
Good luck guessing. Sends dad home round 1.
What if your dad was a shithead and you were like,
I don't
didn't
want
win.
him.
So,
I want Gerald over here.
Well, and it says on here, I'm on an L.com article with all these crazy batshit shows. This one, it says that according to Today, the National Council for Adoption pleaded with Fox to not air it because they felt it would trivialize a deeply emotional experience.
Fox doesn't give a shit.
Guess how many episodes this ran?
6.
1.
Oh!
Did she ever find her dad? We don't know.
Did she want to?
Her name was TJ Myers. TJ, if you're listening, did you ever find your dad?
Please reach out.
Please reach out. Reach out. We'll find your dad. This next one, Farmer Wants a Wife.
I feel like that's self-explanatory. Is it just like The Bachelor but farmer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Farmer's only the reality
It's
show.
in the UK. Oh, this one was based on a UK series. So this was 2008 CW.
Oh.
That
Oh,
good?
CW
That
getting in
good,
there.
good. It was like Supernatural, Farmer Wants a Wife.
Well, and Top Model.
I said Supernatural, and I saw Shane's head go, what? So they took women with city jobs. And
Business.
And then it was The Bachelor with a farmer where he would show how to take care of the animals. So he'd be like, that's real cute. You a jeweler? You gonna scrape this poop off the floor.
See, I would do great on that show until they showed me a horse.
Which all farms have horses.
I know. I'm out.
All right, next one. Scream Queens. The reality show, not the Ryan Murphy show.
The Ryan Murphy garbage show.
I've never seen it. I've heard wonderful things about how bad it is.
Is this like the whodunit show? Like where
we can't even get into whodunit. That's its own episode.
Where they just set people on fire?
Oh my god. If you guys look up whodunit on YouTube, it's a murder mystery game show that only lasted one season. It is gold.
It is peak TV.
I think I talked to Hannah about it.
Yeah.
I'll plug it here. Whodunit season 2. We got it. No, so Scream Queens, 2008 VH1.
Of course.
So it was budding actresses of who are looking for a role in a horror film.
Okay.
So what they did was they had to do challenges. They were like acting challenges and like gore challenges of how they could handle like this thing. And then whoever won got to be in a Saw movie.
Oh.
So they did 2 seasons. And I remember I watched this, and then the first one was in Saw 6.
So it's like the Glee Project, but gross.
Can't even get into the Glee Project either. Also auditioned for the Glee Project. It's a whole thing. Yeah, but if you won, you got to be in the movie. And I think the girl who won the first season got to be in 2 films.
Ooh, look at her.
She had a comeback role. She had a recurring feature. And then the girl who won the second season was in Saw 3D, which is ironic because nobody saw it.
Exactly.
Okay. 2014 Fox. I Want to Marry Harry.
I don't even want to guess.
So, okay, guess which Harry they're talking about.
Harry Connick Jr. Harry Carey. It's Harry Carey. He's dead, but it's Harry Carey, the ghost of him.
So this was a competition show with people who wanted to marry Prince Harry.
Oh, but it wasn't him.
Correct.
Oh, I remember that now.
But it was just a guy who
really
looked
bad
like him.
look-alike.
And it just says it hinged on a redheaded man who sort of kind of not really looked like Prince Harry named Matthew Hicks, who pretended he was a royal to trick girls into dating him.
I mean, game.
I mean, he kind of looks like him, but this was also pre-Megan. I mean, he looks more like him than... He doesn't. Not one bit.
He has red hair. That's it.
Shane, look at this. Does that look like Prince Harry to you?
He looks British.
He looks like Prince Harry and the other one. William?
Just with hair.
Yeah. Ooh.
His eyes are real close together.
Who are these girls?
That's the British part.
These girls need to call their dads. Ugh. All right, next one. Kid Nation.
Oh, I actually know this one.
2007
Where they
CBS.
send them out to a ranch, and then there's like a 7-year-old that's like, I just want to go. They did this on JonTron.
You actually watched this show?
I didn't watch it. I watched like a YouTube thing on it. It's incredible.
I had never heard of it. So this is... Kid Nation is a 2007 CBS series that's like the Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
Where they sent kids to 40 kids ages 8 to 15, 6 weeks without parents in a New Mexico ghost
And they had
town.
like 3 different groups or something. And
Yeah.
like you had to either like work or be a higher up or something. It was a whole like...
Yeah, well, and it says that the kids reported working up to 14 hours a day, so that was like child labor laws. But if it's all children,
What else are you going to do?
making each other work, that's wild.
It's crazy.
That would have been the show I wanted to be on.
Yeah, there's like one adult as the host. That's it.
Are you kidding me? 8 to 15? I'd have run them bitches down.
I would have cried the whole time.
I could have been there, Donald Trump. I could have done it. I could have done it. I could have been Kid Trump. CBS,
Okay, I'm done.
if you renew this. All right. This is the last one. Shattered.
When was
2004 in the UK.
Shattered? I have no idea.
So, do you know this? Have you heard of this, Shane? So, the UK so people had to stay awake for 7 days. That's not it.
Are you sure?
And then they had to endure daily performance testing and a series of challenges. And if they closed their eyes for more than 10 seconds, money was deducted from the final prize. So it makes it sound like it was like as a group they had to win. But if somebody slept, they got stuff taken out of their
Oh my God.
very, what was that show where they can't have sex? Too Hot to Handle?
Yeah.
Yes. Was that it?
Just like that. But yes, that's it.
Where it was if you had sex or you diddled somebody, they took some money out of your
yeah.
prize? Yeah. Ooh.
I
We talked
can't
about
do
that with Hannah for sure. But yeah, there's actually a Netflix show called Awake.
I know that one.
The $1 Million, where it's like
Yeah.
you stay up overnight and then you have to do like menial things and you can't balance anymore because you're tired.
Right.
But yeah, this one, it shows them, I think they're counting potatoes. UK. That makes sense.
Now they have potatoes.
Yeah. Famine where? They're all right here. All right. Caroline, do you have anything to add about reality shows? Were there any shows that stuck out to you that you would want to be on? What would you audition for?
Ooh. I think that Shattered one just sounds insane that I want to do it. I just want to stay up forever and just make the worst decisions.
Did you ever watch that show Cram?
No.
Game show where you had to stay. Did you ever watch Cram? TV game show you had to stay up all night and then the next day you had to do trivia
Oh no.
and like do stuff? That was wild. Where it was, as a kid, I was like 24 hours. How do you stay up that long? Cut to
like
me
the
in 10 years
7
being like,
days thing.
I don't need sleep. 7 days. that's a lot.
Ethically, how do you do that?
I'm assuming it was like over the course of 7 days they would do all this stuff, not like
You stay up for 7 days
stay awake
doing
for a
nothing.
week. Go count some potatoes, Margaret. She's like, oh fuck me. But yeah,
Oh my god.
I need to get back in. I need to watch this Kid Nation shit. I'm
It
fascinated.
it's insane.
Oh, so good. There's a trailer. I gotta get into this. Okay, before we leave, Caroline, we're gonna play a little game called Does Dallas Like? I'm gonna read you 10 things. You're gonna say yes or no. Does Dallas like these things?
Oh boy.
Ready? Chargers,
No.
credit cards,
Yes?
radios,
No.
toe rings,
Yes.
milk,
No.
a bowl,
No.
desks,
Yes.
glasses,
Yes.
springs,
Yes.
newspapers.
No.
That's all we have for the Dallas Show. Thank you for listening. Caroline, where can people find you online?
HG Sparrow 21 on everything.
HG Sparrow 21 on everything. All right. Well, I think that is it. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to have our final episode of the season talking about game shows, cooking game shows more specifically. You better get into that. So thank you for listening. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. You going to say bye?
Bye.
Rude. Whoa, what an episode. Am I right? This is a thanks for everybody who helped make the Dallas Show and the Dallas Show podcast possible. To all of our backers, thank you very much. Specifically, Kimmer Callahan, thank you so much for everything that you've done to help with Static Copy Island. Thank you for helping produce the Dallas Show. And thank you to, what does this say here? Oh, Dallas, you're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Goodbye.